Hi, Buck the Movie Buff, back here after a little bit to get to the 96th Academy Awards, Oscars in review, what I liked, what I didn't like, what I agreed with, and what I didn't agree with. If you haven't seen my previous video, which is a bit longer because I go just about over everything that was nominated, whether or not I'd seen it, I try to see everything, but occasionally, you can't see it all. I still kind of give my take on what I felt should win a certain category or not. As I've been doing, I'd like to start out with one of the funniest movies of all time, Dr. Strangelove, or How I Learned to Stop Worrying and Love the Bomb by Kubrick. Yes, I don't think this movie could be more relevant today than when it came out, or maybe more so. You think about everything happening in the world in 2024 and since 2022, and it's like, was he actually foreshadowing with this into where we were headed as a civilization on this planet? If you haven't seen it, check it out. This is a wonderful DVD too. Look at all the special features, just the making of and little tidbits of information. I thought I'd also share with you how much I really do like Kubrick with one of my collections, and I have several more. And saw this when I was young, probably shouldn't have seen it or should have. And I actually saw this when I was younger, like in grade school, The Shining. Came on late night on TV, and I was alone in our family living room surfing channels and stumbled upon Stanley Kubrick's The Shining. Had nightmares that night. It really, really freaked me out. Traumatized me, perhaps. Okay, back to the 96th Academy Awards. Am I trying to let you know that maybe there isn't much to say, that we could do this pretty quickly? As my wife said after watching the awards, and actually even just leading up to it, no pasa nada, because she's a super fan of everything, everywhere, all at once. And that was a fantastic year for the Oscars, the 95th Academy Awards, and rightfully that one took it all, as I predicted. Probably should have taken more, but there were some mentions that we should cover for the 96 Academy Awards. And as I had told you in the longer video, if you haven't seen it, check it out. Prior to the Oscars taking place, give my predictions. And I was really convinced Oppenheimer was going to take it until I saw Cord Jefferson's American Fiction. And while Cord Jefferson did win for the screenplay, I just felt after seeing that movie, and maybe it was something that played with my emotions, it just was an incredible story and so relevant in today's society with cancel culture and how everything is. The movie, I thought, was the most creative and should take it. So maybe it was just this kind of emotional interference with a film. But if you haven't seen that, do watch it. It did fortunately win the screenplay, and I don't think there was a better screenplay than that this year. Although Oppenheimer kept taking it all, right? And in many ways, a really good movie. It's the epic. It's Chris Nolan, right? Did the Batmans, the newer Batmans after Tim Burton. Has done other kind of epic movies like this with great sound effects, like Inception and others too. And so it wasn't, I guess, a surprise, although I was rooting for others. The music, spectacular. If you didn't get to hear the music for Oppenheimer, or haven't seen it, do get out and see it. But this up-and-comer Ludwig Göransson that Chris Nolan got to do the music, won Best Music. I thought that was pretty cool, and I really did like the musical element of that movie. The visuals are always good with Chris Nolan. The sound effects, I think he won for Interstellar. Was kind of sci-fi, a philosophical movie about space travel and wormholes, but it did take it for the special effects and sound effects that year. This one again did, and I thought that was a really kind of cool, nuanced part of Oppenheimer. I will say, and I think I mentioned this in my predictions for the Oscars this 96th year going in, I got to go to one of the Peacekeeper missile sites and just outside of Cheyenne, Wyoming with one of my kids. And I did that maybe a couple months after seeing Oppenheimer. And it was really kind of influential to see a decommissioned peacekeeper site and kind of learn about how that whole process worked in the same year that I saw Oppenheimer. So I don't know, I always think any movie can influence you depending on who you're seeing it with, and also the time that you're seeing it, right, and the age and all these other external factors to what the actual movie is, and that might have been part of it. And I'm a Chris Nolan fan, I must confess, all the way from The Following. I have that on DVD too. Although Memento was the first flick I saw from him, I do like his films. So other things I thought that they had to kind of give maybe an award to, but were like shying away from what might have been truly merited was Poor Things, right? The Best Actress award going to Emma Watson was great. And corrected, Emma Stone. One way to handle it, yes. I didn't think she was my choice for Best Actress. I found myself, and again, maybe an emotional connection with Bradley Cooper's The Maestro. I thought that would have taken the Best Actress role, right, for that film. It really emotionally had me crying. Now, other things I thought Poor Things should have won that they didn't, because it went to Oppenheimer, was photography. I really thought the camera lens choices, angles, fisheye, use of when to stylistically apply those lenses and camera shots by far took a more creative approach to photography for film. But I think the film overall was just too out there and too risque for the Academy to actually kind of give it more words. This happens sometimes, right? At least they did give it some recognition. And I think a lot of people are going to go see that because of Emma Stone and perhaps even regret it. I don't think they're in for La La Land, if you will, as much as a completely different plot, right, and story. The Best Actor Oscar going to Cillian Murphy. Nice that he won it. Finally, he's just been such a treat to see on the big screen over the years in different films. But I wouldn't even say this might have been his best, although it was a damn good one. So hats off to him. I think well deserved there. I still haven't seen some of the other films I need to get around to seeing, like Miyazaki's The Boy and the Heron. I didn't see Godzilla -1. And I think The War is Over was definitely, something pro Ukraine and a way in which to recognize that. Again, watch Dr. Strangelove, right? And then watch the documentary, or watch Dr. Strangelove, the documentary, and then Dr. Strangelove, or How I Learned to Stop Worrying and Love the Bomb afterwards. I did love Robert Downey Jr. I thought he did really great as playing the senator from Wyoming in the Oppenheimer flick. Anatomy of a Fall. So this took the best original screenplay, whereas American Fiction took the best adapted screenplay, right? That is a really good movie. If you haven't seen it, just the way it plays with your mind, and you as a spectator viewing the film become really an active participant, right? In the sense of not knowing what is the truth, where is truth, and what to believe in terms of this kind of judicial trial that takes place. So again, if you haven't gotten around to seeing some of these films I'm mentioning, they're great. It wasn't the best Oscar years, but it was pretty, good one to watch. And as we do with our family, we see just about most of them. One I forgot to mention quickly is The Zone of Interest. That was a really powerful film about Auschwitz that really doesn't allow you to see the violence as much as hear it, and the things of what it would have been like if you were just kind of citizen of that area near Auschwitz, Germany during World War II. And I think that actually did take Best Sound, rightfully so. One of the most important elements of the movie, like I said, again, no spoilers, but you don't get to see the violence. They kind of try to put you in the shoes of what some of the Nazi families or German citizens would have been experiencing, hearing in that region during World War II and the Holocaust. Okay, out for now. Buck the Movie Buff. Check out some Kubrick films, and I'll have a different DVD for you next time. Maybe my favorite DVD of all time, or movie of all time, I should say.